Okay, it's rap pack to my pulse flat. We keep it real, no false rap. I got 4 cars and they all black. Got 4 bras and they all that. We call that ballin'. Doing this is my calling. Flow is so appalling. My phone off and she calling. I'm like, yeah, what it do? Penthouse, man, what a view. Fall back cause I'm coming through with my whole team. They coming too, that's real. Too real. Motherfucker, tell me how you feel. I'm too good for my own good.
What's up, Internet, and welcome back to Nth-Level Entertainment. I am your host, Mahlangu, and I'm joined today by a very special guest, my nephew, Bongani Mahlangu.
How's it doing, Internet? Good to be with y'all. Good to be on Nth Level. You know, I've been waiting. You know, it's about time I got on here,
gotta
man.
raise
you
your
know,
level.
Gotta raise the level, man. You know, I think I've been on 5th level. You know, now I'm on the Nth, man. You know, it's all good.
You're home.
I'm home, man. I'm home. Homecoming
like
for
movie.
Everybody. You know,
Just
Peter
like
Parker's
the movie
coming home.
we're about to review today.
Hey, yeah.
So we watched Spider-Man: Homecoming last night on IMAX 3D, and wow, you know what I'm saying?
Mind blown,
dude.
IMAX guys, for real.
So let's get into it. Like, what are some of your high points?
High points was how we saw Spider-Man. You know, how we saw the character, what he is, what makes him him. You know, high school student with amazing powers, trying to navigate the life. You know, high schooler kid, but he's also got this power and responsibilities. You know, like what does he do with it? Also, there's this scene where he's chilling on a hammock, you know, made of his webs, just waiting for crimes to happen. You know, I've never thought of Spider-Man that way. Just like he's patrolling, you know, just going around.
A realistic take on what the life of a superhero would be.
Yeah, what it would be.
Because he would actually be waiting out for crimes,
especially someone
on the lookout.
Because look, in terms of like the hierarchy of the heroes you've been introduced to, it's kind of low level, and we saw that low level.
Yes, he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I really, this is the one time I saw friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Ah, great, dude. It was, I mean, Tom Holland as well, you know. Great actor, great casting choice. You know, really brought the life to the thing. One more, Keaton. Man, Keaton. No, dude. Like Michael Keaton. I don't know if it was based off of his performance in Birdman for the casting choice.
It was quite interesting how he actually played a character who flies. After being in
Birdman, and he just ran with it, man. And he brought a whole new thing.
So
Adrian Toomes is one of the coolest. I think actually, outside of Thanos, something who we haven't seen yet. He is maybe outside of Loki, one of the best Marvel villains.
They finally did correct that problem that Marvel has always had in their movies in terms of the villains, with them not being fleshed out properly.
Not relatable.
Yes,
in any way.
We don't understand their motivations and all that up until like the very end, or
because look, most villains
they just serve to prop up the hero.
And most villains, like they introduced, you know what they want, but then that's it, and then it's done. They kill them off. They're gone. Like we're not gonna see from them again, you know. And you'll find in the movie that they're keeping the sense of a villain being a mainstay in the character sort of world, you know. We don't write them off. We don't, like, he's still there. He's still a part of the world, you know. That's great. I mean, we gotta keep Keaton on board, man. You know, otherwise,
Look, it was also a good example to show how Marvel does listen to the fans. You know, because in this day and age, the film viewing experience is very different. You know, with things like the internet and how accessible trailers are now. Comic-Con, you know, people get introduced to these things there. So it's nice to see that, you know, with like the studios being more accessible to the fans, the studios are also taking advantage of that in a positive way.
Definitely.
And actually getting the fans' input.
I mean, global village, man. You know, and like a lot of studios, look, a lot of money involved. And because of that, they realize that, hey, listen, we need to keep the money rolling in, you know. But it's nice to have
because it's the fans that give them that money.
Passionate, faithful people put in charge of all of that money that really, you know,
people that understand the properties.
And like I said, Marvel knows the property. They know the properties.
Well,
right?
So some of my high points. Tom Holland, yes, I also agree. Definitely. He was perfectly cast for a Peter Parker who is in high school.
I mean, there were a lot of choices that could have been made, but
he was very believable. And Michael Keaton, definitely. He really knocked it out of the park as the villain. I mean, that scene when he finally finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. You know, when he turns back and he's like, don't mess with me, kid.
Don't mess with me, kid.
I'll kill you.
You know what? Actually,
I'll kill your entire
I'll
family.
kill your whole family. I'll take you out. I don't care who you are, how old you are, you know. And I think the people that are gonna watch the movie and have seen the movie, the first introduction to Vulture in costume, dude, that was so dope, dude. He just flies down, you know, and you see the power, man. You know, like this is.
He was menacing.
Hella menacing.
Even that whole rig that they had for when he lands.
When he lands and he just comes out, you know.
Wings on that
dude.
He looks like someone you don't want to mess with.
It was too dope.
You know?
It was too dope. No, it was dope. It was dope. I mean,
my final and highest high point of that movie. Yes, it is a superhero action movie, but Donald Glover. Right? That scene when he's shopping for weapons and you know, Shocker, I think it was showing him all the different weapons. Yeah. And he says, "Hey man, I'm just looking for something to stick somebody up. Yeah. I don't want to shoot them back in time." You know.
Like it just, I think Donald was like the sense of normalcy. Yeah. The only normal thing in this, a very blown up. Like, I mean, we're dealing with alien technology that's been repurposed for like criminals.
He represented the man on the streets perspective of all of this. You know, because everybody else made it look like it's a normal thing because it's a superhero movie. And you know, he was that one guy that was like, what the hell?
For that one normal guy for what he called the Vulture. Like, he's like, what do you know about the Vulture? It's like, outside of the fact he's a psychopath dressed as a demon. Nothing, you know. I don't know anything else. That's all I need to know. He's just that's what he is, and that just like encapsulated what we were dealing with, you know. But then in terms of like Glover's performance, dude, dope.
Like he just knocked it out.
On Glover as well. I hope that. Now we'll get to this actually.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get to this. We'll get to this. Other than that, yeah.
So and also he teased Miles Morales.
Yeah, definitely.
By
very subtly.
Yes, by saying I've got a nephew that lives
in this neighborhood. Yeah, I don't want weapons in the neighborhood.
Because we all know that Miles Morales is the Prowler's nephew, and that's the character that Donald Glover was playing.
In case you don't know, Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yes.
First Black Spider-Man.
Yes. That's the best way you can describe him, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's what it is. Like, I read the comic line just because. One, I've always loved the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, you know, and the fact that they introduced new characters. The Ultimate Universe used to be the only place to introduce new takes on these characters, and the way it was received, Miles Morales was received. Just sort of showed. I hope in future that, you know, we get a little something there, you know. But then let's not detract from Holland.
It'll probably be like a few movies down the line, because I mean,
like
look,
a long
Tom
time down
Holland
the line
has just been
introduced.
established
No,
as Spider-Man.
He's real fresh. He's as fresh as the character himself.
So we'll need him to go through like a few story arcs.
Definitely.
Before we actually get to something
like Spider-Man needs to develop first, you know. Like in the comics, dude, Spider-Man's a veteran. Like he's been,
especially by the time Miles Morales.
comes to the picture, you know, he's been. But it's so nice. Normally, like a reboot, we're a bit skeptical about reboots, you know, about what we've done. Oh yeah, you know what? Also another high point.
Especially after Fantastic Four.
Oh man, I don't even know.
Fox, I'm looking at you.
I never heard that. I don't think. Let's all just wipe that from our memories. Yeah. You know. But one more thing on the high points is how it's so fresh. It's an old sort of it's an old character, right? But it's so fresh, man.
It is.
Out of the box, you know, still got that new smell, man. You know, like it's just fresh, dude, and it's amazing. They killed it.
Like it's the kind of movie you feel like they should have made a YouTube unboxing video for.
Yeah, like a collector's edition, you know, metal box, you know, got the art book, you know, got director's commentary,
got
you
like
know,
custom webbing on
it. Yeah, like a little toy there for the kids, man. Definitely,
so real quick, let's get into the lows.
The lows.
What were your low points?
You know, I love the movie so much that there's been a lot of different perspectives on what was wrong with the movie. The one thing that I did feel was sort of like a point, you know, like it's there cute was now this is a very comedic movie. They play very well with the comedy. The tone is perfect. They keep it well throughout, you know, but it's almost too good. Too much comedy. You know, you're dying. You are literally dying from one joke, and there's 5 more running so quickly in succession.
While you're busy
laughing at that, you know, like it was, like we all love comedy, we all love laughing, you know, and this was a perfect franchise to use that comedy. Marvel's good at that. Here it's on hype, it's on steroids,
Well,
it's just
I think part of the reason for
now.
that is because Spider-Man has always been that type of character. That
definitely
he's not as serious as Thor or Wolverine for
maybe,
example.
Hulk.
He was always that character that even in the middle of fights he'd be wisecracking.
He's always right.
That's him. I mean, as Peter Parker, he's pretty emotionally labored.
Yeah.
He's got things he's going through. He's helping to support his Aunt May and all that stuff. He's going through the rigors of being a teenager and not being able to actually share his secret and being bullied and so on and so forth.
I think the age he is the most important factor of the character. The age, the high schooler, and actually have a high schooler who is a high schooler,
Yes.
Very age appropriate kind of thing.
At least looks like a high schooler.
No, a baby face kid, man. He hooked it
Because
up.
Tom Holland is in his 20s.
He's in his 20s.
But he was very believable.
It's a better age. It's so believable, and it's a better age to really go through those. I mean, you can be 20 and still be going through the residuals, that teen angst or whatever it is.
True.
And he just, great. I loved him, dude. I loved him.
So, some of my low points.
Oh, yeah, low points.
Okay. The thing that really stood out for me that I really didn't like is the fact that, he was very... I get that, okay, he's going through his hero's journey because we're reintroducing him into into the Marvel universe. It's a reboot. But he was bumbling a little too much for me.
Yeah, he was a bit some clumsy times.
Yeah, I mean, yes, he got it together towards the end of the movie, but that's not the same Spider-Man we saw in Civil War.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that guy was fighting, the big guns.
He looked
holding his own.
He looked like he had his stuff on lock.
Like he'd been established a lot longer than we introduced him to.
Exactly.
Or were introduced to.
Look, even in Civil War, they did say he had only had his powers for about 6 months.
Yeah.
But still, he's the guy. He took out Falcon and the Winter Soldier by himself.
I mean, even regardless of War Machine, be like, Jesus, Tony, it's just a kid, Like even that, he was still holding his own.
He was still the classic Spider-Man that we all know and love. So that's one of them.
Yeah, the other questionable ones. I'll be honest.
The other is the thing that you mentioned just now. It felt more like a comedy featuring superheroes than an actual superhero movie. I get that it's a Spider-Man movie. I get that Spider-Man is a snappy comeback, fast talking, funny guy. But it was kind of a bit overdone, in my opinion.
And it's really sad to have that sort of opinion that we have with too much comedy. In that this is the one time where that wisecracking Spider-Man really came to the fore, This is the one
but
where...
everything in moderation,
Of course,
I mean, if you look back at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, for example, I had the same problem with that movie.
Oh, yeah?
Drax, for example.
Drax became too comical.
Now, Drax is called Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah.
Right?
Not Drax the syntax
Drax the clown.
or what. The clown, yeah. Ish. And I guess it depends on the directors and the tone and the... Like I said with the tone was... They made it beautiful. It worked so well. And I mean, Spider-Man is the only wisecracking superhero.
Well, not the only, but
I think he's the most.
But I think because he's that popular, you would think he's the only wisecracking superhero.
I guess. I mean, that's why he's. I mean, you look. There's times where what superhero, whilst patrolling the streets, will do a little demonstration for some bystander. Hey, yo, Spidey! I heard you on YouTube.
Ridiculous.
It's like, hey, Spider, I heard you on YouTube. Do a little flip.
Do a flip.
Woo, and he does it. I love that. Because that's who he is. That is Spider-Man. That is Spider-Man to a T. That's why Marvel did it so well. They know who he is.
I guess.
They know who he is.
So my other low point was Ned Leeds. Okay, now...
Yeah, Ned Leeds.
Okay, after some thought and some listening to a few other opinions, I kind of changed this point, but he could not keep the secret for shit.
Gonki. Now
he's an anagram of Ganki.
Now Gonki is a character, the same character, same anagram.
He's an anagram.
He is Ned Leeds
of Ganki.
Now Gonki is from the Ultimate imprint of Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was a friend of Miles Morales.
They use the same character. Yeah. I'm sorry. He will always be Gonki to me. He will always be. I mean, he looks the same. He talks the same. He's the same character. Gonki for me. But yeah, Ned Leeds. I love Ned Leeds, man. He was the inner nerd.
So the thing
for
that
all of us
that eventually made me change my my perception of him being a low point is the fact that okay, fine, he's a kid in high school, I guess, and any kid in high school who finds out his best friend's a superhero,
oh man, they're gonna talk.
Will be very excited.
It'll be on. Someone's gonna hear about it.
You know, it won't be an easy thing for him to keep to himself,
especially in the global village type ish, man.
But yeah, it was really annoying.
It was real bad.
Was really
there was some really bad. There was some moments where you're like, oh, I think everyone like in the cinema just, oh man,
exactly,
man, what are you doing? What are you doing? But on Nth-Level though, I really feel like he was the nerd, the inner nerd.
Yeah, no, definitely.
For everyone there. Like
he was the guy in the chair.
He was a guy. I'm the guy in the chair. I'm the man in the chair. Yeah, I'm the man in the chair. There's this point where, like Peter, his only real person to talk to when things go bad or talking about how it is outside or whatnot. Gangi's there like, awesome, great. Talk about like a whole neighborhood almost getting destroyed. Badass. You know, that's us, dude. That's like if Peter Parker was our friend. The stuff we do. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'd do if my friend was a superhero. Look, I know that. Look, there's limits, but hey, man, like I might blab a little.
I guess for someone who's had like a lot of experience consuming this type of media, like a lot of superheroes and their origin stories, and the people that they have to
depend on
as confidants.
Like Nth-Level is a pillar, dude. For
they're a lot better at the whole secret keeping kind of thing, and I guess
look,
this was
look, they were better.
This was a little new for me, so maybe that's what took me out of it. I mean, like there are many examples of butlers, for example, that know how to keep a secret.
Pennyworth,
we
gotta, but I mean, like I said, it's fresh.
Yeah,
that kind of confidant. It was fresh in every way, and Ned, man, he was that nerd, like kid in a candy store, nerd at a convention, like that was him, man. It became his life, so that's why, like, I love Ned, man. Ned was but good. Yeah, look, like there were points where like, hey, come on, dude.
And there are people who feel as though there were too many villains in the movie, like, there was the Shocker.
There was Shocker.
There was two Shockers.
Yeah. The Shocker. There were two Shockers, yeah.
And we had the Vulture. We had Scorpion, Matt Gargan. He wasn't the Scorpion. He wasn't the Scorpion yet, but he was there. Who else do we have? Oh, we had the Prowler.
We had the Prowler,
Donald Glover.
And it makes me wonder.
But now it turns out that we actually only had one villain.
We had what?
Which is the Vulture.
I was about to touch on the fact that
everybody else was just a henchman.
Yeah, just secondary in the background,
But it was a nice subtle setup for their eventual.
They were villains for true fans.
Yes.
Villains for people who knew the characters.
Would pick them out every time they heard
every time. Like we knew who. For everyone else, they were just like badass looking people.
Yes.
That could do some damage if let out in the streets, but not really villains person. For me, a villain is only once they've got the costume out and the moniker's there. Like when they gave the new Shocker, when he got the gauntlets, that made him the Shocker. Only once he had gotten those was he really the Shocker. Was he really a villain? You get villains, you get henchmen, like you said. Just the grunts. They were in the picture, but not too in the foreground.
Yes.
Not too much as a thing, but they used them well. I felt they used them well. They used them good enough, not just good enough, like to the maximum potential without detracting from. Because we've had a thing of too many villains. Spider-Man 3.
Man. One more high point: the Captain America videos.
Oh, dude, yeah. Guys, dude, you will die. No, you will die. You will have maybe a hernia whilst watching. Careful. Don't only laugh after eating popcorn. I don't want anyone choking out there because it's too good.
Like the time when they were in detention. There was even a video for detention. Yeah. He comes there with a chair and is like, "So you got detention.
So you got detention.
So you messed up." Oh man.
And I felt like at that point he was kind of talking to Peter at that time, like. Because in the comics,
well, that's how they used it visually. How they do the subtle exposition.
Of course. And I what I love about it is that because in the comics now, especially the Ultimate imprint, where before we get Miles now, Captain America was Spider-Man's mentor. He was the mentor, not Tony Stark. I love how they use Tony Stark as a mentor and all of that stuff he brings, like we bring him into the world. I think Tony Stark is a perfect person to act as a mentor. But I loved how they used that.
As far as the MCU goes.
As far as the MCU goes, no, definitely.
Because it really
actually, because of that, it started
because it really started with him.
It did start with him.
In Iron Man 1 and 2.
Yeah. Very meta. It was so meta, and it was beautifully done. Beautifully done. Like, dude, they know how to play on subtleties that people pick up, and when you do pick it up, it's great. It's amazing. It's like looking at you, man. Yeah, man. Here's a little something for you, man. You know. Hope you enjoy it, and I enjoyed it all.
Especially on that final post-credit scene.
Oh, see now. The nature of this review, I don't know if we should blab about this, but just do what you normally do. Just stay through the whole thing. You get a nice surprise at the end.
Yes, it's awesome.
It is. Oh, dude.
Best post-credit scene you have ever seen.
I don't think they could ever top it again.
No, never.
No,
not that one.
I think they should actually stop altogether. There's no point. That was just too good. It was just too good. There's no point, you know. But yeah, so, what else? Man, Cap was great. So
let's get into predictions. After having seen Spider-Man: Homecoming, how do you think things are going to progress going forward? If you had to speculate.
Now, on Spider-Man or in the MCU, because
whatever.
With Spider-Man, there was a little nod to the Sinister Six with Gargan.
I've got friends on the outside.
Now, as the geeks that we are, we know that Scorpion was really part of the Sinister Six. Like the Sinister Six was like a rolling roster of villains, just hell bent on taking them out. Spider-Man. I think the Sinister Six would be one of the best things to go forward with for Spider-Man. True. Really up the ante with what it means to have villains. Because he matures a lot. In the movie, as people will see, it's a big theme or a big conceptual relevant topic is maturity.
Yes.
Like it's a big thing. Like we are dealing with a high schooler, and a high schooler being a superhero, there's something has to change for you to be that thing. So Sinister Six for a more mature Spider-Man. Well, might still be kiddish, I don't know, but I think Sinister Six, dude.
Yeah, I mean, at his core, he'll still be the Spider-Man that we all know, and he's wisecracking well into his adult years. Obviously, there'll be some maturity with every movie that he goes through, because character development is a big thing.
It's an important thing. I mean,
the Sinister Six is a very important part of his rogues gallery, because they're like the Suicide Squad to the Spider-Man universe, so to speak.
Definitely, because there was supposed to be a Sinister Six movie that fell through.
Oh yeah,
this is the perfect opportunity to, sort of go through with that, and the Sinister Six is they are really the nemesis of Spider-Man.
Nemesis, I like
that. They're really the nemesis of Spider-Man, because you're dealing with
Doc Ock. He's normally in there.
Yeah. Who else is in there? Like I said, it's a rolling roster, but Doc Ock's one of the main ones.
I'll go with the one that I know from the animated series. I think it was Rhino. It was Doc Ock. It was Mysterio. It was was Scorpion in there? He was, because he was already established in the animated series. Venom's never been a team player.
They try to keep him in, but you don't work with a violent psychopathic symbiote, as Peter learns on many an occasion, But you know what? On that note,
the Chameleon.
The Chameleon
was also part of the Sinister Six, and Kingpin. Those were the ones in the animated series.
I think Kingpin will. If you think they'll introduce Kingpin, because he's a TV property, right?
Is he strictly a TV property? Because they had him in the first Daredevil movie.
True, but that was before the MCU really got the ball rolling.
But still, in terms of property, he's still open to be used.
No, true, definitely. Yeah. If they do use him, I think he'll be like a linchpin for everything, And when you got Kingpin on your bad side,
Wow. Because the resources he has.
It's
and just who he is as a character as well. He's very formidable.
You know what though? One character I'm really interested to see what they do with is Mysterio. The whole illusion thing, and with how you look at Doctor Strange and how the visuals were a whole psychedelic thing.
Yes.
With Mysterio, we'll have almost a taste of that, but with Spider-Man in it, you know.
I think with the existence of Doctor Strange in the MCU already, they'll probably have to tone it down.
They'll tone it down.
They can't have him rival.
Yeah, no, of course.
Doctor Strange as far as visuals go.
But a taste is enough, I reckon. You know?
I guess.
I think that's one of the.
So,
yeah. And I don't like Mysterio, but yeah.
So my prediction would be that in Infinity War, we'll most likely have a look at a more serious, more having come into his own Spider-Man. And we might even see the Iron Spider outfit from Tony Stark. Because we did see an upgrade at the end of the movie.
To his costume.
Which he turned down.
I don't know how.
I'm not quite sure whether that was the Iron Spider.
Yeah.
Or like the MCU's version of the Iron Spider.
I thought it was. It looked like it.
Well, the color scheme was very different.
Yeah, it was. And there were no like those tendrils.
The appendages that come up from his back.
The claws and stuff like that. You know, on the costume, what do you feel about the costume?
What, the main one?
Well, let's go both.
Okay, now that is actually one of my low points.
Another low point then.
Because now they made him Iron Man Jr. You know, the AI, the heads-up display. Yeah. You know, because like now that didn't how can I put it, differentiate him enough from being Iron Man. I mean, Spider-Man, as we know him, is someone who relies on his powers and not technology.
Not his technology.
Now we've got a Spider-Man who has powers and is also trying to rely on technology. You know,
I mean, it's a very
and a very specific technology. Yeah, like Iron Man AI. You know, That was a big low point for me. That was, if not the lowest.
I get where you're coming from.
If not the lowest point for me.
Low.
Because the thing is, you know, okay, fine. Aside from the fact that we didn't have spider sense, I can forgive that. But
that I can.
But for him to have an AI, like, you know, to have an Iron Man suit, basically, you know, it was way too early in his career. I mean, if they're trying to do a callback to Civil War, from the comics, I mean, it was still way too early because we've just reintroduced him as Spider-Man, you know, in the MCU.
Can I go back to a low point real quick? Spider sense. I do not know how people can accept a Spider-Man with no spider sense. People, no spider sense. No, like, dude, it's gone. Like that flashing thing, it's gone. It is that. That is more of a taking away from the character than him having an AI. I feel the technological part of Spider-Man is sort of like a more modern take on what it would mean to be a player.
I think I've got a doozy for you.
A real player.
I think I've got a doozy for you with regards to the spider sense that I've just realized. Okay, now follow me on this. All right. Okay. First of all, I think they painted themselves into a corner in terms of the spider sense. In terms of it wasn't properly introduced in Civil War.
Yeah, I could argue that.
So because of that, they had to follow suit. But if the writers, you know,
just put a bit more work in, maybe.
Well, I was gonna say I don't want to sound insulting. The word I was gonna use was are smart enough. But if they are smart or creative enough, they could find a way to reincorporate it by saying that in Infinity War, he gets into a situation that is, you know, like has so much peril that
like an evolution of his powers.
Yes, that he finally manifests the last part of his powers.
That would be great.
Which is the spider sense.
That would be awesome.
Kevin Feige, I'm immediately available if you want to hire me on
your writing stuff. Look, we got ideas, man. I got 4 days.
Right here. You know, I'll put my address in the link and the description below.
Hey, we're both here, man. You know, I'll take a job.
Google Maps. You know, I'll put it all there.
We just out here. Nth-Level. Look us up.
Maybe I'll just put my CV there.
Look us up. He's looking at you, Kevin.
Yeah. Because I
see you, Kevin.
There's a lot more where that came from.
Kevin, I see you.
A lot more where that came from, Kev. I'm right here. I'm right here. But yeah, they could do that. They could do that.
That's actually a good idea.
You know?
I think just to like sort of...
Just to show that, you know, we're still not done evolving this character. You know,
because there's a lot of things.
Very young Spider-Man.
It is a very young Spider-Man. That's true. That is true.
He may not have had a situation where he actually has need of the spider sense. And as a result, it's dormant.
Now, in the Marvel movie, there's always a point where I cannot abide by certain choices they make. This was one of the few movies, if maybe the only movie, where I've really just accepted everything. Yes, I'll tell you, the spider sense wasn't even a real thing for me in terms of like recognizing it. I just thought it was just him going about his business. But then when you do find out that they just take it out.
Because the thing is, for you to know that there's spider sense, it has to really be
Visual cue,
visually represented. You know, like I mean, if you look back in the Sam Raimi series, the first instance of the the spider sense happening is you would see things slowing down.
Yeah.
You would see how he's like aware of everything that's going on around him.
Remember that disgusting
slow-mo
with the fly and everything.
Exactly. And he was able to avoid it.
Yeah.
You know?
Explaining what
not exactly a dangerous thing, but I guess spiders don't like wet paper. But
who does? I hate it.
So because that wasn't done, we can't definitively say that there was spider sense. We can definitively say that there wasn't because it wasn't shown.
I'm gonna be on the hopeful side and say that they do incorporate it
in Infinity.
I hope they do. Like we said they listen to their fans. Guys, come on, spider sense.
One more prediction: we might see the alien costume in Infinity War.
That would be amazing.
Because
my word,
there is a standalone Venom movie coming out.
With who?
With Tom Hardy. So
now that's quite a casting choice.
That is an awesome casting choice, I think. But now I'm thinking, how else do you make it make sense that he becomes Venom? You know, without the symbiote first going to.
And normally,
so I believe it's going to be introduced in Infinity War.
You think with the standalone movie will have sort of a Spider-Man cameo? Because in the comics, Spider-Man was the introduction to Venom and the whole symbiote saga, which was huge. It was big. You know, one of the biggest.
Look,
let's say one of his biggest arcs.
Look, now that Spider-Man is currently with the MCU, right? The chances are likely that he might not cameo in the Venom movie. But the way that would make sense for them to connect the two would be for the alien costume to be introduced in Infinity War, and then later on we see it in the Venom movie, just a little, and then there's soft references, you know, as to where it came from. In fact, they wouldn't even need to make the soft references because we know, you know, as the fans, as people who know the character. And so on.
I love black suits Spider-Man. Yo, man, the most badass. You know, we look at Spider-Man 3 and sure, we saw the change in him, but man, it didn't do it right.
You mean the swept hair and the show tunes on the sidewalk?
Man, and he's walking there, you know, like
looking like a 1930s gangster.
That's not more serious. That's just you being a clown, man, you know. But done properly with Marvel at the helm of a symbiote Spider-Man. And then into Venom. Yo, dude. I think that'll be the... You know what? Screw Sinister Six. I'm still excited about that, but the Venom storyline, the symbiote storyline is... Yo, that would be...
Imagine a sequel to the Venom movie where he fights the Sinister Six on his own.
Who? Spider-Man or Venom?
Venom.
Ooh. Yeah,
a Tom Hardy Venom going up against the Sinister Six.
Like some honor among thieves type of thing.
That
you know,
would be awesome.
Yeah, it would.
But anyway, we're running kind of long now, so we're gonna go right to our ratings. What do you give Spider-Man: Homecoming out of 10 slush puppies?
8.5 slush puppies. 8.5 slush puppies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We've been waiting, guys, for some good. And this was good. This was good.
Well, look, in defense of Marvel, they have been doing good consistently.
Well, I mean, in Spider-Man sense. I mean, in Spider sense.
Spider sense.
Yeah, Spider sense, you know. In Spider sense, yeah. 8.5 slush puppies. You?
All right.
What you got? What you got for us?
Look, in light of it being a sitcom.
Yeah, well, you know,
featuring superheroes.
Detracting factor online.
That kind of, you know, brings things down a little bit. But I did love Donald Glover's line.
Oh yeah,
I did, and
the
visuals were awesome.
They were awesome.
As
another high point there, just to say.
Very high point.
Best
Michael Keaton knocked it out the park.
Definitely.
Great villain. Best MCU villain so far, aside from Loki.
Yeah. This is what makes a villain, but yeah. Tom Holland also.
Yep. And I would give it. I'd give it a 7.
7.
7 slush.
That's a respectable score.
Respectable score.
No, I mean, problems aside, whatnot, or problems included. You know.
Look, if only it was more of a natural progression from the Spider-Man that we saw in Civil War to now, just in terms of skills.
In terms of skills,
I would have given it a 10.
You
know?
Yeah.
I would.
That was a big low point then, man.
Big one for me.
Big low.
It was inconsistent. Continuity.
Yeah, true. I mean, someone with I mean, can climb on walls now, slipping sometimes all of a sudden.
You know?
What is it? I forgave it. Can't forget Spider-Sense though. Damn,
so guys, let us know what you thought of the movie in the comment section below. So where can people find you on social media?
Facebook, guys, or Twitter or Instagram. I am Films by Buck. Coming soon, guys.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Let us know what you thought of the review. Let us know what you think of the channel in general. And once again, look out for the ongoing 50 Greatest Movies of All Time review series that I'm still doing. And once again, you can find us on Facebook, Nth-Level Entertainment. You can find us on YouTube, Nth-Level Entertainment. And as usual, stay awesome, guys. People.
Stay awesome.
To infinity and beyond.
Oh, yeah.
The album, I let it spill. Number one, bitch, I bet it will. Do the numbers, I said it will. I played the game and I'm still the same, and I never changed just to get a deal, bitch, I'm ballin'. I came from nothing to something like it's nothing. Yeah, you know I done it, that is no discussion, bitch, I'm ballin'.
Yeah, I mean, like in the middle of my comedy career, I finally had to admit that I have to get a steady job, because I had to make ends meet. Before that, my ends were so far apart, they were following each other.